What's going on, everybody? It's Sean here, and I'm here today to give you guys a review of the Air Jordan 4 Retro in this red cement colorway. So this is a brand new colorway of the Air Jordan 4, which releases today, September 9th, for a price of $210 US or $270 here in Canada. These will pretty much be a general release Air Jordan, so they're going to release in full family sizing, and they're releasing at most Nike and Jordan retailers, including sneaker boutiques here in Canada, such as The Closet Inc. The Closet Inc. is my go-to shop for Nike releases and Jordan retros, and they're independently owned and operated, based right here in Southern Ontario in Canada. So for all my Canadian viewers out there, I'll link their website, their social media, all that good stuff down below, so check them out, support the independent shops, and be sure to tell them that I sent you. So back to the shoes, this colorway adopts that classic color blocking of the white cement Jordan 4, but instead of the gray, it replaces it with red instead. So the official colorway for this shoe is white, black, fire red, and neutral gray, and just judging based off of the market prices as of right now, I don't anticipate these being that difficult to obtain. First things first though, here's a quick look at the packaging. So this comes in a very sturdy, black colored cardboard box, and in typical Air Jordan 4 fashion, we have this oversized flight branding on the very top, which is done in a mix of white and red. So taking a closer look at these Jordan 4s, on the toe box, you'll see the majority of this pair. This is crafted using a slightly tumbled but above average quality white colored leather. So when you run your fingers across this leather, you can see those natural leather grains, and it doesn't have an overly synthetic, plastic-like feel to it that Jordan brand sometimes uses on other pairs. Surrounding the front toe cap, we have more of that same white leather, and this runs down towards the mid panel of the shoe. And then in typical Jordan 4 fashion, we have these lace crowns. So the bottom lace crown, this is constructed out of a matte black colored TPU. And then next to this, the leather used here, unfortunately they used a synthetic leather as opposed to using the same genuine leather that they used right below this. Beneath this, on both sides of the shoe, we have that signature netting. And then moving downwards, the side flap or wings of the shoe, this is again constructed out of TPU, and it's colored in this fire red color with black speckle paint, and the lace crown itself is once again done in this black color. Beneath this, you can see we have more of that tumbled white leather, which wraps around the heel of the shoe, and above this, around this ankle collar area, we have more of that same genuine white leather, and then attached onto the heel of the shoe, we have the signature Air Jordan 4 heel cup. This is also colored in this fire red color with black speckle paint, and we have this black colored Jumpman pressed on right in the center. As far as the laces go, so these only come with one lace option, and they're just your normal flat style lace in white. Underneath this, the bottom half of the tongue, this is covered in that same white colored netting that we saw earlier on the sides of the shoe. And then on the top of the tongue, we have more of that synthetic white leather that we saw earlier covering the middle eyelets. And then we have this square patch which is stitched on featuring Jumpman flight branding in a mix of red and black. The back of the tongue, just like any other Jordan 4, it features this upside down tag with Air Jordan branding. And then the interior of the shoe is also lined in the same black colored textile, and the same can be said for the insole as well. So these come with a recycled polyurethane foam insole, and then pressed onto the heel of the insole, we have this red colored Jumpman. So the upper of the Jordan 4 sits atop a polyurethane foam midsole, which is painted in white on the bottom and this fire red tone on the top, once again with that black colored speckling. Underneath the heel, of course, we have this cutaway exposing the Nike Air unit that's found within the midsole for cushioning. And then finally, turning this pair over to the bottom, here we have your classic Air Jordan 4 outsole. So this is constructed out of a mix of black, red, and gray colored rubber. We still have that classic herringbone style traction pattern, along with this red colored Jumpman found right in the center. So that breaks down the look and the construction of these Air Jordan 4s. And for those wondering about sizing, so my foot measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and for the Jordan 4, I can wear between a 10 or a 10.5 depending on the specific release. I got these in a size 10, and I feel like they fit me pretty well. I didn't feel any pain on the pinky toe area of the shoe, which is where the Jordan 4 sometimes creates problems, because they definitely run a little bit more on the narrow side as far as Air Jordans go. But for this pair, I went true to size, and I feel like it fit me okay. So if you have a narrow, normal, or even a slightly wide foot, I feel like you could go true to size, but if your feet are more on the wider side, you'd probably be better off going up that half size. Moving on to the comfort, so unfortunately these feel like any other Air Jordan 4. In my opinion at least, you definitely can disagree, but I feel like the Air Jordan 4 is a pretty uncomfortable shoe, especially when you compare it to other Air Jordan retros. I don't know what it is about these Jordan 4s, but they feel very firm, a little bit clunky, and at least in my past experience, they don't break in as well as compared to other models like the Jordan 3 or the Jordan 5. So this probably isn't going to be a shoe I'd want to wear if I know I'm going to be on my feet for many hours in a day, or if I'm going to Disney World, for example, and I'm walking like 25,000 steps. The Jordan 4 would probably be near the bottom of my list. But for an everyday casual use shoe, assuming you're not walking a ton of kilometers or miles within that day, it should be okay. Finally, in terms of the quality and the craftsmanship on this pair, so first off, material quality was a bit of a pleasant surprise. Other than the synthetic leather used on the tongue and the middle eyelets of the sneaker, the rest of the leather used on the shoe I thought was pretty good. And in terms of the build and the craftsmanship on this pair, for the most part, I'd say my specific pair was okay. The paint job I thought was well done. The panels were cut and stitched on consistently. The netting looked really nice as well. It wasn't wavy or out of line or anything like that. But the major issue that I had was the tongue, specifically on my right foot. So it might be a little bit hard to tell, but if you look at it right here, this to me just seems like an overly fat and wide tongue. And the laces on this pair right now aren't overly tight, but you can see how wide this tongue really is. And even when I wore these and laced them up on my foot, it still sort of felt oversized. So I don't know if your pairs have the same problems as mine, but that's definitely something that I noticed that bugged me. So with all that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet. I'll lace them up for you and I'll show you guys how these look. So there's definitely some pros surrounding this shoe. Mostly the material quality was a nice surprise, and the overall build, other than the tongue, I thought it was pretty solid. If you're asking for my honest opinion from a colorway perspective, this shoe to me is an easy pass. First of all, I already own a pair of the white cement 4s, so in the grand scheme of things, I'm pretty much never going to be picking this shoe over that one if I decide to wear an Air Jordan 4 that day. And I might get flamed or hated for this opinion, but honestly, this colorway to me, it kind of reminds me of a fake colorway of an Air Jordan 4. There's just something about the colorway of this shoe, it just doesn't flow really well. This red is so jarring and it's so loud, especially when you compare it to the front half of the sneaker, which is mostly free of red. So even from the moment I saw the initial leaks of this shoe, that was my honest opinion. It just really reminded me of those unauthorized colorways back in my early days of collecting in the mid to late 2000s. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comment section down below, what are your thoughts on this red cement Air Jordan 4? Are you a fan of this colorway? If you are, more power to you. And if you're passing on this pair, what's the reason why? Is it the colorway? Is it the price? Or is it just because it's a shoe that you don't love, nor do you hate? As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8, check out my X or Twitter account at sean.go, and visit my website at seango.ca. So thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.